Hello and welcome back to Man vs Film. It is time for another top 10 of movies that you can watch this September, and I have got some great films picked out for you this month. As always, this is just a fun list. They're not in order of which is the best movie, just ones that I want to recommend for you to check out. I hope you enjoy them. Let's get started. Number 10, Deepwater Horizon. On the Deepwater Horizon oil rig, the General Operations Supervisor and his Chief Electrical Engineer are concerned about potentially dangerous trouble that is brewing. Unfortunately, visiting BP executives, frustrated by the project's long delays, order curtailed site inspections and slanted system tests to make up for lost time, even as the crew helplessly protest for the sake of proper safety. The workers' fears are realised in the worst possible way when the rig's various structural and system flaws spark a catastrophic cascade of failures that would create a massive blowout and an explosion that threatens them all. This is a wonderfully directed and acted true story, and it's really impactful. It has these characters that you really buy into, so you're hoping that a lot of them are going to survive. It is a spectacle when it has to be, and it has these wonderful moments that are really exciting, and it has this kind of bittersweet end where you suddenly realise the impact on all the people what happened here. This is one of the best movies I've seen in recent years. I love Deepwater Horizon. I will champion it as long as anybody's willing to listen, and if you haven't seen it, please get on it. Number 9, Locke. Ivan Locke, a dedicated family man and successful construction manager, receives a phone call on the eve of his biggest challenge of his career that sets in motion a series of events that threaten his carefully cultivated existence. It's a hard one to really explain why it's so good. This movie is basically Tom Hardy in a car driving from one place to another, making phone calls. Doesn't sound like the most exciting, but you really get an insight into this character, into his life, the things that he has done and probably will do after this, the mistakes that he has made, and the things that are all coming to fruition this fateful night where everything is now suddenly changing. It's a powerhouse of an acting performance. It's really engaging, and it's one that, although it may not grab you with the synopsis, it's definitely worth checking out. Number 8, Split Second. The year is 2008. Global warming has melted much of the polar ice caps, resulting in serious flooding around the world, including the city of London, which is now under several feet of water. In the ensuing chaos, a new colour has emerged, one that's unnatural, unrelenting and unstoppable. Maverick veteran policeman Harley Stone has a link with the killer. It murdered his partner, and now he's out for revenge. I recently reviewed this one. I thought it was a wonderful movie. It's typical 90s Rutger Hauer action nonsense, but it has a sense of bravado about it. It knows what it wants to do and it achieves it. It's a great partnership between the two main detectives. It's good special effects, some unbelievably corny yet absolutely wonderful one-liners, and this is one of those just so good direct-to-video 90 movies that I felt I had to include it on the list. Number 7, They Came Together. In New York City, couple Joel and Molly are having a dinner with a couple of friends, Kyle and Karen. In general discussion of their respective relationships and how they met, Joel and Molly, in telling their story, say that it's exactly like a corny romantic comedy. The story they end up telling has every romantic comedy cliche thrown in. David Wayne's wonderful satire on romantic comedies, which really embraces all of the tropes and creates a really funny movie. You buy into the relationship between the two lead characters, who are both wonderful in the movie, and it really does feel like it's just ticking off every trope one after another as it goes through all these, and it's having so much fun poking fun at these kind of movies while still kind of homaging them, not really tearing them down, just giving knowing nods to all these tropes but still doing it in a kind of loving fashion. Number 6, The Strangers. After returning from a wedding reception, a couple staying at an isolated vacation house receive a knock on the door mid-hours of the night. What ensues is a violent invasion by three strangers, their faces hidden behind masks. The couple find themselves in a violent struggle in which they go beyond what either of them thought capable in order to survive. I really enjoy The Strangers. I find it's a movie that really gets under your skin. The fact that these people just out of nowhere pick on this family and the sheer terror that they're put under also made me make sure that I'd never buy a house alone in the middle of nowhere, because this very thing probably wouldn't happen, but would be in the back of my mind. The Strangers is an effective horror thriller that really gets under your skin very quickly and will creep the heck out of you. So we're halfway through the list. I just wanted to pop in and say thanks for checking out this. If you like this video, hit the like button, maybe subscribe, or if you're feeling super supportive, I have just rejigged all my Patreon where you can go on there and support me for $1, pound or euro. Just as little as that would make a great difference to this channel. Let's continue. Number 5, Land of the Lost. On his latest expedition, Dr. Rick Marshall is sucked into a space-time vortex alongside his research assistant and a redneck survivalist. In this alternate universe, the trio make friends with a primate named Chaka, their only ally in a world full of dinosaurs and other fantastical creatures. I don't really know who is the target audience for Land of the Lost. It feels like a bit of a kid-centric movie, but it has a lot of adult content in it. Will Ferrell stars in this one, and I just find it ridiculously absurd. So much so that I just enjoy the hell out of it. And I seem to be one of the few people that loves it. I think it's a movie that you need to go into knowing that it's exceedingly silly, knowing that it has some really wild moments of unusual humour in this one, and some typical moments of Will Ferrell kind of humour. It's obviously got a huge budget, and I just like it. It's on my list. Number 4, The Meg. Deemed insane for claiming that the failed rescue mission in the Philippine waters was doomed because of a seemingly extinct predator of epic proportions, the prehistoric megalodon, Jonas Taylor is the world's greatest deep-sea diver, finds himself in the vast ocean realm of the Mariana Trench 5 years later. But as 3 scientists of an underwater research facility near Shanghai get trapped inside the crippled submersible, attacked by an unknown creature, Jonas will need to work fast to redeem himself. Could the disgraced rescuer's theories about the vicious underwater leviathan be true after all? Jason Statham versus a shark. Need I say more? Correction, giant shark. It's rather silly. You should get that from the premise, but I think it's really kind of enjoyable. I think seeing Jason Statham saying Megalodon is incredibly funny. I think the special effects are really good. I like some of the characters. I like the silliness that this movie achieves. Seeing Jason Statham do everything but punch this shark is just highly entertaining to me. It's not the best movie ever, but it's one of those popcorn and turn off the brain kind of films that for some reason I enjoy. Number 3, The Beyond. New Yorker Lisa Merrill inherits an old hotel in Louisiana and invests her life savings into reopening the place. While repairing the building, a lot of people begin to die, and a local doctor, John McCabe, tries to help Lisa to solve the mystery of the hotel. Meanwhile, Emily, a blind woman, advises Lisa to leave the place as soon as possible, as they realise that this is a gate to hell and it has been opened, permitting the dead to walk on earth. One of Fulci's best movies, The Beyond, is probably unlike anything else you have seen. I thought hard about putting this one in the list because it's a kind of off-putting, gory, twisted movie with an abstract ending that leaves you almost head-scratching, and it has some wonderful moments of gore and some wild inconsistencies within it. But The Beyond is a movie that I love. It's a weird and strange movie, and I think sometimes it's good to share the strange and weird. So The Beyond is here if you're looking for something a little bit different. Number 2, The Quick and the Dead. Ellen, the taciturn blonde gunslinger known as the Lady, rides into dusty hamlet of Redemption to take part in corrupt Mayor Herod's quick-draw gunfighting competition. With revenge etched in her heart, the Lady has to compete with dangerous killers from all over the area. Some crave recognition, others seek retribution, while others are in it for the riches. But in this fight to the death, there can be only one winner. The Quick and the Dead is a western shot through the prism of Sam Raimi. It has Gene Hackman as the bad guy, Sharon Stone is the good guy, it has Leonardo DiCaprio, and it is shot with such this visceral energy that you can't help but get wrapped up in these explosive gunfight battles and the tale it is telling. The Quick and the Dead seems to be a forgotten Raimi movie, but it's one that I have loved since I first discovered it, and I want people to begin to check this out yet again. Number 1, Gravity. Veteran astronaut Matt Kolowski is in charge of the Shuttle Explorer on a mission to repair the Hubble telescope with the rookie specialist Ryan Stone. Out of the blue, Houston aborts the mission, warning that a Russian missile hit a satellite, causing a chain reaction, and now there is a storm of debris coming to them. Soon they lose communication with the mission control. The debris strikes the Explorer and Ryan is released from the shuttle. She must somehow try to find her way back to Earth, but she's run out of oxygen and fuel. Alfonso Cuarón's 90-minute powerhouse of a thriller, Gravity, is wonderful, starring George Clooney and Sandra Bullock. This is effortlessly engaging. You get bought into this story. It's got fantastic visuals, unbelievable visuals. It has a terrific time-ticking idea at the heart of it, and it's just one of these things that you are struggling to wonder how somebody's going to survive this ordeal. So there we have it, 10 fantastic movies for you to check out this month. I hope you find at least something there that you really want to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. I'd love to know your thoughts on the movies anyway, and if there's anything I've missed off my list, of course, let me know in that comment box below, and I will see you next time on Man vs Film.